Welcome to Thoughts with CP, everyone. And a little disclaimer on this episode, and a little disclaimer on this Tuesday morning, even though this episode is being recorded on a Monday. If you don't like what I am about to say or Danielle's about to say, you can unsubscribe from every single podcast platform that we on. Thank you, because it is politics that we are talking about on Thoughts with CP on this Tuesday morning. So if you don't want to hear the politics saga and cerebral palsy saga, you best unsubscribe and bye bye, because I don't really bring up politics on my podcast, nor do I do religion aspects of my podcast. But yeah, I am feeling like I need to say something, and Danielle is right there with me, and I'm feeling like I need to say something. And now, with the disclaimer out of the way, I will say that I am a Democrat. I fully admit that publicly. And I am not the biggest fan of Donald Trump due to, well, one reason, I am on Obamacare. So my health insurance is Obamacare. And I am very, 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 very lucky and blessed to have Obamacare. And because of my CP, and yes. And so if Obamacare walks away, I would be up in the creek without a paddle. Even though I could work so hard, work my tail off to afford health insurance, and I could get health insurance. I'm one of the lucky ones that if I needed a full time W-2 job, I could easily get a full time W-2 job with health insurance in the either the podcasting industry or either the communications industry or the journalism industry. Because as you guys know, journalism is my new calling, and I stepped away from education and I won't go back, will not go back into education, no matter how. If you said to me, we'll give you $1,000 to go back into education, oh no, nope, 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 I'm not taking that. I'm not taking that $1,000 because I believe not only did I lose my job to the pandemic, but I believe also I lost my job because I have a disability. They, as I said before, it's a huge difference when employers say, oh, we're equal opportunity employers and we hire people with disabilities, but yet they don't know where to place them. And luckily for Danielle, her employer is wonderful. I happen to know her employer personally, and her employer is wonderful. her employer understands disabilities more than my employer did. Thank you very much. And her employer understands her capabilities. My employer, on the other hand, I think they just wanted to say, oh, well, go off to the employer where we'll hire someone with a associate's, well, not even that, a group leader certificate in education, and we'll stick it in corner and call it good. Hello, I don't like to be stuck in the corner and call it good. I and then he is laughing at me for my last statement. I like to be useful. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. This podcast has given me more great joys and more useful communication skills than, and going back to journalism school has also given me more great joys in communications slash journalism than I would ever shake a stick at. And people know that it's taken me a long time, 6 years, just to obtain a bachelor's degree. But by April of 2022, I will have obtained my bachelor's degree. Now, I still haven't decided whether I'll go for a master's in house coaching or creative writing. I am leaning towards creative writing, but at the same time, I am also leaning towards making people healthier and helping people with their health. So we'll see. We'll see if I can swing a master's degree. If not, I'll complete a bachelor's degree and be so happy, so unbelievably happy because um, I have a lot of silent cheerleaders. Some of them don't show up on Facebook. They show up in my life. They um, they stand in the silence and cheer me on. And I'm not Danielle knows this, and everyone knows this in my close inner circle. I'm not the type to say good job to. I'm not the type that wants people to say good job, congratulations, you have a disability, you can do it, all that good stuff. I'm the type that will put her nose to the ground and nose to the grindstone and do it, and then manage life around me doing it. If you give me a if you give me something I really want to do, um, I will find a way to do it, and then put the carrot at the end of the stick. Like, to give you an example, if I want to go travel, which I do, I will figure out a way to put the carrot, aka the beach, at the end of said stick, and then I will figure out a way to do do that and sneak away with help. And so I will figure out a way to travel with help. I will always need help, but the reason why I'm bringing this up in a episode about politics is because I I made my decision. I made my decision, I was blessed enough to I know people in odd places, and I was blessed enough to see the inside workings of two campaigns. Two campaigns. Now, those two campaigns unfortunately have stopped. And so but I made my decision on who I was going to vote for in a hospital room, with my dad. Now, granted, my dad was on oxygen. He was going downhill quick. He was going downhill quick. I decided that night, out of I guess a spur of the moment thing, because I knew that he wasn't coming home, and well, when he made it home, I knew that he was going to be a totally changed person, and I knew that I needed more help than I than he could have mustered in all his years of helping me, he even though he knew I had a disability, and he had he would like to get other people to help me, and then he tried to manage the house on his own and tried to manage me. Well, it turned out being too much. And so that night, I said to my mom and stepsister, who were going back and forth in between the hospital, in between me, and in between my mom's job at the time. So, granted, my mom had a lot on plate. And so I said to both of them, look, I'll take over visiting duties and I'll take over visiting duties and respite care and all that good stuff because my dad knows this too. My mom was starting to have what I call caregiver burnout. And if you read um, if you read my books, I mentioned caregiver burnout in my books. And my dad goes, when he read that book, when he read the gallery copy of that book is called The View from My Heels, by the way, and it's available on Amazon. He goes, "You knew that term?" And I'm like, "Of course I knew that term. Of course I knew I had cerebral palsy at the age of 6. Of course I knew who was taking care of me, who was blessing me with people power, and yet people didn't know that I knew who was blessing me with people power. But that's a long story in itself. Why? They asked me why, and they said I was going to give them the answer of I don't know. I gave them the answer of this, and this, and um, they were stunned, but they still did what they did. I'm talking about my abuser, by the way. And so I made my decision in a hospital room of who I'm going to vote for in the next presidential election. And that is Joe Biden, who will hopefully, will keep Obamacare and keep me happy and healthy. And I don't want to hear I should vote for Donald Trump, keep America great again, make America great again. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to. I don't want to see it on my Facebook. I don't want to hear it. Danielle and I are trying to raise awareness about cerebral palsy. And so, do you have anything else to say, Danielle?
Uh, uh, yeah.
You are with me. You agree with me. I knew you would agree with me
Yeah.
because, yeah. I mean, we're two women that um know, even though we have cerebral palsy, we're smart enough to figure it out. I was smart enough to figure out as my dad was dying, as my dad was dying, and one of the last lucid things he said to me was, although he was pretty lucid um the day after he got diagnosed with lung cancer. It wasn't until they moved him over that he started rapidly declining. But when he was home and when he was up here at ADH, that was when he was the most making sense. That was when he was the most calm, cool, and collected about this whole thing. And yes, and so why do you what what do you think blueberry pancakes have to come in? When I talked to him that morning, I said, "Well, did you sleep?" He goes, "A little." And I said, "Well, I hope you had your breakfast." He goes, "I had blueberry pancakes." And then I had, when we were having this conversation, I about who I was going to vote for because I knew my dad wasn't coming home. I distinctly remember I had tomato soup in front of me. He had salmon, and the conversation was, "How do you feel about Joe Biden?" And that was it. I said I feel perfectly fine with Joe Biden in the hospital in the presidential election, and my mind was made up that that I was going to vote for Joe Biden, and my mind won't. I made that decision, as I said, um, in April of 2019. My dad died in May. So, and that was one of the more lucid conversations we had um, with him sitting up in a chair. And then all heck broke loose. So, yeah. And it took one, two, three, four adults to to manage his care, 4 adults, including me. And yeah, and so I am happy that I had the conversation about Joe Biden, and I don't want to hear any any Trump supporters. I don't want to hear any Trump supporters on Facebook. I will be blocking you on Trump supporters. And I also am starting to research assisted suicide because if something horrible were to happen to me, I want to essentially die at home under assisted suicide. And so I'm starting to research that because the reason why I'm starting to research assisted suicide is because that is the way I want to go. I want to go with my close circle around me, and I believe that if you had witnessed medical malpractice twice, I believe that assisted suicide is the way to go. And so that's why I'm um, starting to research that. And my stepmom knows that I want to die at home. She knows that I'll go kicking and screaming into a local hospital after what they both did to my mom and dad. My dad, all they said to her about my dad was he has a shadow on his lungs. They they didn't say this man needs to be transferred immediately. If it wasn't for if it wasn't for my stepmom and my if it wasn't for my stepmom and myself suggesting to my dad that he go to a bigger hospital, which was Valleyville, and he would have been kicked back into ABH, and then yeah, and then he would have had a heart attack with my mom at work, I believe. And so, um, thank God that Valleyville, and I give them the credit, I don't give ABH credit. Thank God that Valleyville said, this is out of our scope. He needs to be transferred to Denver. And thank God that he had insurance to do this whole stint. And thank goodness that he had the blessing of getting down there, and he he was diagnosed. He was a sick puppy when he was diagnosed, and they transferred him, and that's when the rehab center screwed up majorly. They screwed up more than one, and that I knew that he had organ failure to begin with, and I knew that he wasn't coming home. I remember when where I was when my mom said they screwed up more than one, and I'm like, nope, I don't want this. I want to go home. I need care. I need help. I need to step away and go into myself. And people will tell you that because of everything that went on at the summer of 2019, I did lose weight. I didn't even notice that one until someone pointed out to me. Someone said to me, "You lost weight, and you are the almost going into yourself." And so I don't want to hear Tide Pods can save your life because they can, and I don't want to hear um Donald Trump make America great again. I think he's the worst president ever, and I'll leave it at that. And Danielle will agree with me all day long. And so, Danielle, do you want to lead everyone out?
Yeah, no, no, uh, uh,
And one other thing, I will block people that mention Donald Trump. I will so block you in 2 seconds flat. So be aware, you guys. Be
yeah,
aware that Danielle and I will block you guys in 2 seconds flat. You know our opinions, and so be aware. And there's no filter on all opinions. Thank you very much. And so, thanks for following us. I hope you enjoy this episode. And as I said, you can unsubscribe from our work, but those are our opinions, and we stand by them loud and clear. Thank you very much. Thank you for following us. And I will catch you guys in the interview portion of Ask to Win. Thanks, you guys.
bye.